Hello, I'm Annie Schwartz, and I'm here to bring you the March edition of Milwaukee's Most Wanted People. Now, the people that you're going to see profiled today have committed some serious crimes in the city of Milwaukee. We'd like your help in getting them off the streets. Take a look. We have some good news for you this month on some suspects who already have been arrested that we profiled right here on Milwaukee's Most Wanted. We're wanted for false imprisonment. A battery was Wesley Q van. He is in custody, arrested on February 5th of this year in the 3200 block of North 2nd Street. Also in custody is Jason Walters. He was wanted for a robbery and was arrested on February 11th of this year in the 3400 block of North 76th Street. And also wanted for robbery is Howard Jeffers. We're pleased to say he's in custody as of February 19th. He's arrested in the 6600 block of West Villard Avenue. Also off the streets tonight are Edward Bernard Burgess. Now, he was captured before we could even profile him on this program, but his picture, along with the picture of Brandon D. Lay, appear on posters that show Milwaukee's Most Wanted for the month of March. You might see those around your community. Edward Bernard Burgess is off the streets today, as is Brandon D. Lay. Milwaukee Police are looking for Donald Smith. Now, on February 13th of this year at about 3 a.m., in the 3800 block of West Center Street, Donald Smith knocked at the victim's door. When the victim came to the door, the suspect said she'd better not press charges against him in the morning related to a previous domestic violence complaint. That's when Donald Smith entered her bedroom, broke a wooden board off of her dresser, and began beating her with it, causing serious injuries. He also threatened to kill the victim while he was beating her. Additionally, he violated the no contact order in place for the victim, in which he was charged with disorderly conduct. Jonte Lamont is wanted for first-degree reckless homicide party to a crime. On September 22, 2007, Dismuke drove the suspects to the 9500 block of West Orinda Court, as the suspects had planned to shoot a victim who was a witness to a previous recklessly endangering safety. The victim had refused previous attempts from people to pay him off to not testify in the incident. As the suspects saw the victim getting home and getting out of his car, the shooters got out of their car and approached the victim. The shooters then shot the victim multiple times, causing his death. The suspects fled to the waiting vehicle being driven by Dismuke, who drove them away from the scene. Ervin is wanted for attempted first-degree intentional homicide while armed, habitual criminality, and possession of a firearm by a felon, habitual criminality. On November 12, 2008, at about 7 p.m. in the 4200 block of West Sibon Place, the victim arrived home with her new boyfriend and 2 children. Upon parking her vehicle in her garage and exiting the car, the suspect, who is the victim's ex-boyfriend, ran into the garage and fired a shot, striking the woman in the neck, which caused her to fall to the ground. As she attempted to get up, the suspect, who had left the garage, re-entered that garage and shot her 3 more times, telling her it wasn't going to be that easy for her to leave him. The suspect then ran away from the scene. His actions caused serious injury to the woman. Mark Stephen Warren is wanted for first-degree recklessly endangering safety while armed and second-degree reckless injury while armed and possession of a firearm by a felon. Here's what happened. On September 20th, 2008, at about 2 p.m., the 500 block of West Vienna Avenue, the victim was driving in her car while the suspect was operating the car in front of her. Suspect stopped his vehicle in front of her, got out, and walked toward her. The suspect, armed with a handgun, began firing several shots at the victim's vehicle, causing damage to the auto. As a result, a victim sitting on a nearby porch was struck in the left side by gunfire and was injured. Vidal Rodriguez Alvarez is wanted for first-degree reckless homicide. On September 5, 2008, at about 3:45 p.m., while seated in a car in front of South Division High School, the victim and another individual, who are C-14 gang members, became involved in an argument with rival gang members in another vehicle. Both vehicles left the area, subsequently meeting in the 1900 block of South 13th Street, where a second argument occurred. That's when Vidal Rodriguez Alvarez approached the victim's vehicle on foot and then threw a screwdriver at the victim's auto. It entered the open driver's window and impaled into the victim's temple, causing her death. Hernandez Cruz is wanted for arson of a building, criminal damage to property, and violation of a domestic abuse restraining order. On October 25, 2007, at a home in the 2200 block of South 30th Street, the suspect, who separated from his wife, damaged her vehicle by smashing the window with a crowbar. He later came back to the wife's home, attempting to have contact with her, violating the restraining order. The suspect then went to the residence that he and his wife own in the 1900 block of South 14th Street and set the house on fire. Ramon Ramirez is wanted for first-degree intentional homicide while armed. On October 9th in 2007, in the 2100 block of South Muskego Avenue, the victim was attending a party, got involved in an argument with someone. That's when the victim left with a friend, while the person he had been arguing with got on a phone and asked for a gun. That's when that subject later left and returned with Ramon Ramirez. The victim and his friend returned also, at which time he and the subject he argued with were going to fight. As the fight started and the victim knocked the subject to the ground, that's when Ramon Ramirez came from the side, pointing a gun at the victim and fired several shots at him and fled. The victim had gunshots to his back and died. Wanted for first-degree intentional homicide, 2 counts, and attempted first-degree intentional homicide, 3 counts, is Otaviano Juarez. Now, he's been on our list for some time. This is a shooting that occurred at South Shore Park on Monday, May 29, 2006. Suspect saw his wife, from whom he was separated at the time, with her current boyfriend and all kinds of other friends and family. He became involved in an argument with his estranged wife, demanded to see his daughter. Others attempted to intervene, try to calm the situation down, but that's when Coro produced a gun and fired numerous shots, striking his wife's current boyfriend numerous times and killing him. He then fired a second shot, and another victim was shot multiple times. He also died. The suspect also shot his wife, causing serious injury to her. Well, there they are, the most wanted people in the city of Milwaukee right now. Now, if you know where any of those people are, if you have some information you can share with the police, here's what we'd like you to do. You can call 414-935-7360 and share your information with Milwaukee Police. You can also go to our website at www.milwaukee.gov/police, and you can give us your information there, and you can certainly send us an email anonymously from that website. Thank you very much for your attention, and please pay attention out there on the streets in case you see any of these wanted people.